even though I'm a younger player, I think, having been through a cup run and having won already, I think I can bring some of that experience to the team. And
2 weeks after acquiring young, speedy, and skilled forward Alex Newhook from the Colorado Avalanche, the Montreal Canadiens have extended him for 4 years at $2.9 million AAV. A steal of a deal for Montreal, and one that will help keep Montreal cap healthy as they rebuild the team into a contender once again. The trade for Newhook was very controversial for a lot of Habs fans that thought Montreal gave up too much to acquire him. I'm going to try and show you why I think Newhook will be a good fit here by going over his draft year scouting reports and some other things, and hopefully you'll come away agreeing that acquiring Newhook was the right move to make for the rebuild. All that right here at Talkin' Habs.
I think I can bring a lot of speed to this team, a lot of speed and skill. Mostly played center. I'm probably more comfortable playing the middle, but can play either, and it's not really not a huge deal either way.
Former Eye on the Prize contributor and current Elite Prospects writer David St. Louis still thinks that Newhook has the potential that made him a first-round pick. I still like Newhook a lot of skills, significantly above average motor and skating combo. Showed a lot of anticipation in the NCAA, didn't show it so far in the NHL, but players thrive when they get opportunities. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome in. There's a little bit of controversy, I think, amongst Habs fans about the trade for Alex Newhook, that Montreal might have given up too much for him. And who is this guy? I'm going to go over his scouting reports from his pre-draft year and a bunch of other things and try to convince you that this was a great trade for Montreal and Alex Newhook's going to be a great player here for many years. He's only 22 years old. He's 5'10", and maybe a little bit above that. 190 pounds, 22. He's from Newfoundland. He is a center left wing, shoots left. In 2022-23, he played 82 games, had 14 goals, 16 assists for 30 points with the Colorado Avalanche. In his career in the NHL, 159 games, 27 goals, 39 assists, 66 points, all with Colorado. In 2020, as a freshman at Boston College, in 34 games played, he had 19 goals, 23 assists for 42 points, and was a plus 28. He also won the National Freshman of the Year award in 2021 in college. In 12 games played, I don't know why it was only 12 games, but he had 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points. In 46 total games in NCAA, 26 goals, 32 assists, 58 points. More than a point a game player. And as you can see on that, in junior, he was also a plus point a game player. A lot of times, guys like that who, their point a game or more, it comes down every step up. So I kind of expect Newhook will be close to a point a game player in his career. Going into the 2019 draft, he was considered the second fastest forward in the draft, right behind Jack Hughes. His Habs role, in my opinion, is going to be a top 6 winger that can legitimately play center when needed. A big upgrade on a player like Rem Pitlick. He can shoot and make plays at top speed. Can play both the power play and penalty kill.
I think there's still a lot of room for me to grow in a lot of different areas. I've played on the kill. I've played power play. I've played up and down the lineup.
In junior with the Grizzlies, he had 3 shorties in his last season there. In my opinion, Alex Newhook, 60 to 70 points and probably 25 to 35 goals in that. Somewhere in that range as a regular output. Guy's got talent and skill, and he just hasn't been able to take advantage of the opportunities given to him by Colorado. And maybe, he deserves a little bit more. And I think Montreal's going to give him that opportunity and that little bit more. We'll see what he can do with that. Interesting is that Newhook's agency group is Quantex. That's where Habs GM Kent Hughes was an agent and a partner. He wasn't Newhook's agent, but there's a connection there. And you'll see in this little interview clip.
Yeah, my relationship with Kent has been good. He was a part of my agency. He wasn't my direct agent, but he was a part of it. I played with his son in junior. So
Alex Newhook will wear number 15, formerly worn by KK. Let's hope. I don't know what let's hope. I hope the number doesn't affect him in any way, but he's wearing number 15. Strengths. Alex Newhook's strengths. The biggest strength he has is his skating and his speed. So it's by far his biggest strength. And he's a smooth, effortless skater. And he's got blazing speed and acceleration with solid edge work and agility. He's got excellent balance, and he's very strong on his skates. So very hard to knock the puck away from him or knock him around on his skates. He's deadly on the rush with that explosive speed and can make defenders look slow with his acceleration, especially breaking wide and then cutting into the net. Just in general, going around them and on breakaways, he can pull away from a defender rather easily. It helps him to get some open space or to get back to help out in the defensive zone. His elite skating makes him dangerous in transition in all three zones and in multiple ways. He's got soft hands that can make plays at top speed or deke out goalies on breakaways or in tight. High hockey IQ, seems to always make the smart move with the puck. Can fool defenders with tricky moves and will go to the dirty areas. Really important. Go into the corners, fight along the boards. Great vision, sees the ice well, good passer and playmaker, and distributes the puck well. Can get pucks to teammates through traffic and on the rush. Good passer with both the backhand and the forehand, and has a great shot with a quick release. Alex is not a one-dimensional player. He can hurt you in multiple ways. He's got a great one-timer off the draw. He battles along the boards, as I said, and in the dirty areas and in the corners, or to get positioning in front of the net in the offensive zone. Will take a hit to make a play. I prefer a player who does that than just gives up the puck because he's afraid of a hit. Potential to be a very good two-way player. Reads plays well and has good anticipation. His strong positioning cuts down on passing lanes and creates turnovers. And he's an effective penalty killer, as well as effective on the power play. Weaknesses, and there weren't that much to find, to be honest with you. I tried to find a list of them. This is what I got. Needs more consistent focus on the defensive side, except as a penalty killer. He's a really good penalty killer, but he lacks focus and I guess getting back on the back check and, just inside the defensive zone. But, I mean, those are coachable things. Needs to be more consistent in his forecheck and back check. So, like I was saying. That's pretty much it. I didn't find anything else on the weaknesses side. Now, I'm sure he's got other weaknesses, but that's what I found. Projection card. So this is his projection card for the 23-24 season. The numbers aren't great, but it doesn't factor in the trade and his new expanded role in Montreal and the coaching staff and the philosophy here in Montreal. Newhook should be freed up to really show his skills in a more significant role. He'll have much better line mates to work with, and that'll be a big difference maker for sure. So you got to remember that Alex played with Logan O'Connor and Andrew Cogliano for most of last season. And, his numbers weren't great there, but you got to take into account the line mates. He did have some opportunities to move up and play with better players, and he admittedly himself, he admits that he didn't take advantage of that.
It's definitely nice hearing a coach that says he wants you to, play your game, wants you to, not be afraid to make mistakes and have that kind of approach.
So here's something different. Because Kirby Dach was acquired in a similar way for much the same reason that Newhook was required, and there was some success there in his first season in Montreal. So let's compare Dach's metrics before coming to Montreal, and we're also going to compare his metrics after coming to Montreal. Dach's metrics from Chicago last season before the trade, and Newhook's metrics from last season in Colorado. And you see they're very similar. They're the same age, similar metrics, and we know that Dach was kind of turned around here in Montreal, and I believe that Montreal can do the same thing for Newhook. I would suggest pausing that, take a little look at the metrics here. It's too long to go over every single thing, but look at the bars. You can see when they go to the left, that's kind of in the negative, to the right is positive, but they're very similar metrics. So that's Doc from Chicago his last season, and Newhook last year from Colorado. Now, take a look at this is Kirby Doc, his last season in Chicago and his first season in Montreal. And you can see the huge difference on the positive side with those blue bars. Montreal turned this guy around, and I think that they can do the same thing with Alex Newhook. Habs management definitely believes that the coaching staff can do the same thing for Newhook as they did with Doc. And if they do that, it's a successful trade, and Montreal will have won that trade because Alex Newhook has a lot of potential, and his ceiling is pretty high. So this is really was a good move. I don't know a ton about metrics, but I do know that when you look at those that graph and you see the difference from being in the negative on how many things, and then they turned him around quite a bit. Not just that he's over a little bit, he's turned around a lot. I think they can do that for Newhook, and it's going to be awesome. Where will Alex Newhook play?
I think it can be a guy that can play up the lineup, that can bring a lot of speed and skill to a team, and be able to produce, as well as being responsible defensively, be relied in different situations like that.
So to answer that, we need to figure out if the Habs want Kirby Doc as a winger on line one or the second line center. Doc was great on the right wing on line one, no doubt, last year. But I think he was emerging as a 2C when he got hurt last season. And I believe the Habs want to develop him as a 2C. Doc at second line center gives you two solid scoring lines, and it'll be harder to key on line one, right? To shut down Montreal's scoring, which has then pretty much shut down Montreal's ability to produce any offense at all. Stacking line one in the overall picture isn't the right way to go, in my opinion. Spread the offense out a bit and finally give them two legitimate scoring lines. Develop Slavkovsky for that first line right wing spot to give that line the size it needs, so that you want from Doc, and hopefully there's the same chemistry. So maybe we see the team playing Slav on the right side this season to work his way up to number one right wing. I can see that. General manager Kent Hughes has said in an interview that the team sees Doc as a center and plans to develop him as such. They didn't trade for Pierre-Luc Dubois or draft a center this year at the draft. And there's no one in the minors for the second line center role. So to me, it's obvious they plan to play Doc at second line center this season. There are no UFAs to fit the bill either. And Hughes has said they won't add any big time, high cost players through free agency or trade. So Doc's the guy. Doc's size at 6'4" compared to Newhook's 5'10" frame also means Doc is the plan for 2C, not Newhook. Doc had some great games at center last season where he was nothing but dominating. You could look at the future and see what a 25-year-old Kirby Doc at center will be. Skilled, fast, and physically dominating. I want to see more of that, not less. Doc signed a 4-year deal last season that'll bring him up to his final RFA year, where Montreal still has control and get him under contract, for more, and at a higher cost, obviously. So he'll surely cash in with a big contract then. And now Newhook signs for 4 years, and it brings him to his final RFA year and a season after Doc. He should cash in then as well. But it keeps them cap healthy, and those signings keep Montreal in control of these players before going to UFA. So when the deals are up, and that leaves cap space as the cap is going up, and that's gives money for the team to build around them. And you see so many teams who don't do that, who sign guys to contracts that are way too big, and then there's the cap's not going up right now, and they're stuck with trying to fill a team out that's good enough to win. And I think Montreal's doing it the right way, and they're going to be able to fill out a team with quality players surrounding their star players, and that's the right way to go. And Newhook's going to be one of those star players. In conclusion, in my opinion, Alex Newhook will be a solid addition to the Habs' top six and young core. He fits the mold of the new Habs player. Fast, skilled, two-way player, good character, hardworking. He'll slot in on the wing I think on the wing, probably the left, but I imagine if he's a left-handed shot, he could be a right winger. On the second line, it gives Montreal 2 legitimate scoring lines, and that will increase much-needed scoring depth, secondary scoring that was almost rare for Montreal last season. Like literally, it was kind of rare for them to have secondary or I forget the word for it, the third dairy scoring. I forget the name of it. Newhook will fill in at center if injuries hit again like they did for the last 2 seasons. Hopefully not. But I think Montreal traded him to be a second line winger, mainly, And look, and a guy that can play center if need be. And when you need that, you got a quality guy playing center. It was a great trade, a great signing right now, and another piece of the core group in place for the next stage when they become playoff team and then contenders. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, you guys, and I'll see you soon. Ciao, everybody.